Hey everyone, welcome to the next in my series of Let's Plays. I'm doing this because I'm still kind of waiting to get the group back together for the next Let's All Play, so I'm going to do The Binding of Isaac.
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Isaac kept to himself, drawing pictures and playing with his toys as his mom watched Christian broadcasts on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Isaac's mom heard a voice from above. "Your son has become corrupted by sin. He needs to be saved." "I will do my best to save him, my lord," Isaac's mother replied, rushing into Isaac's room, removing all that was evil from his life. Again the voice called to her. "Isaac's soul is still corrupt. He needs to be cut off from all that is evil in this world and confess his sins." "I will follow your instructions, Lord. I have faith in thee," Isaac's mother replied, as she locked Isaac in his room, away from the evils of the world. One last time, Isaac's mom heard the voice of God calling to her. "You've done as I've asked, but I still question your devotion to me. To prove your faith, I will ask one more thing of you." "Yes, Lord, anything," Isaac's mother begged. "To prove your love and devotion, I require a sacrifice. Your son Isaac will be this sacrifice. Go into his room and end his life as an offering to me to prove you love me above all else." "Yes, Lord," she replied, grabbing a butcher's knife from the kitchen. Isaac, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trap door to the basement hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
So that's the intro to The Binding of Isaac. I just figured that I would let you guys see that, and just in case you are interested, I have played this game for roughly 25 hours already since I bought it, and this is not the screen that you'll see at the beginning if you just start from a fresh save, or if you just start the game fresh. Basically, I just want to kind of play through the game until I actually beat it, because I haven't really beaten the game fully yet. So this is basically going to be, I'm going to be showing several attempts throughout the next few days or weeks or however long it takes me to beat the game. And I'm just going to show the best or most entertaining playthrough, not every playthrough, because sometimes playthroughs end really quickly because I get shitty drops. So, basically the game, if you want to categorize it, it's kind of a hybrid of a twin-stick shooter and a roguelike. And it has a lot of influences from The Legend of Zelda. And at this point, I have 3 characters unlocked. You'll see the mouse here. You've got Isaac, who's the default character, who is the character I'm going to be playing with most because he's the one I'm used to playing with most. There's also Magdalene, who you unlock after you have 7 total hearts, which you get by earning health up items. And then you've got Cain, who you unlock by getting a lot of money. It's like 55 coins you have to have 55 coins total in your inventory. And then you've got Judas, who I have not unlocked yet, but I will once I actually beat the game. So we're going to start with Isaac, and here we go. Attempt number 1. And the only reason I'm going to keep this one and actually broadcast it is because I wanted to give you all that information about what I'm going to be doing with the game. So the first room in the game will tell you exactly how to move and attack. I'm using a PS2 controller connected through USB, the converter thing, which I bought at 4 Triangles, which is a really good website for stuff like that. And it's fairly simple graphics. It's made by the same people that made Super Meat Boy. among other things. And so basically, the game is going to be like, and just as I'm starting, I'm getting my ass kicked at the very beginning because these are two of the most annoying enemies in the game because they shoot at you, and those are really, really irritating. So basically, the game is it's fairly simple in that it's a twin-stick shooter and it's a roguelike, which, for those of you who don't know, roguelikes basically are games that every time you play through them, it's different. So it's a really, really random game, but because of the randomness involved, it essentially gives you infinite replay value, which, considering the fact that I've played the game for something like 25 hours, and no playthrough is the same, and I still haven't beaten the game yet, or completed the game, I guess I should say. I mean, I beat the what I thought was the final boss, but then it turns out, no, there are more levels. And just recently I got to the last boss, and I got it down to about 5% health, and then I died because I was stupid. And I'm getting a lot of really empty rooms in this first floor, the basement floor, I should say. Basement 1. Alright. On the plus side, okay, and here's another thing that you get. Every floor... Oh, got a crappy prop. Every floor has one of these rooms where you can get a power-up. It'll range from anything like a really crappy one like this, which is a teleporter, to it'll give you stuff. Well, like a teleporter is one of the many, many sub-weapons that you'll get. It'll also give you stuff that'll give you stat bonuses, because if you go to the pause menu here, you'll see that it'll show Isaac's speed, his the speed of his tiers. Yes, those are his tiers that he's shooting. The attack power and the range. So yeah, let's continue. And now I know this is going to look kind of random. I'm just putting a bomb in a random wall. It works. All right, good. Every floor also has a secret room, and this is much better of an item. Bob's Rotten Head. I know it looks bad, but it's another sub-weapon, and you'll see what happens when I use it in the boss room, which is coming up right about now. And each floor has a boss, and each boss is random. It's random as to which boss you'll get. There are only a few bosses at each. I hit myself with that. That was not smart. But basically, yeah, Bob's Rotten Head tosses a giant explosive poisonous attack. So this is Monstro. He's one of the easiest bosses in the game. He has basically 3 attacks. Wow, I didn't realize I was going to kill him that quickly. And I got another crappy item, speed up. Not really that helpful. But basically, Monstro's 3 attacks where he vomits blood at you, or he jumps at you, like little tiny jumps. And this is what happens in the transitions between levels. Isaac has a nightmare. In this one, he's locked in a treasure chest. That's horrifying. And then he wakes up, and you continue on into Basement 2. Now, at this point, I'm pretty hampered by the items that I have, because Bob's Rotten Head, while a decent sub-weapon, is not very good compared with some of the other really good stuff you can get. And I've got these guys to deal with, and they're really annoying. I hate them. If I recall correctly, they're called horks, which makes sense considering the noise they make when they vomit at you. Very annoying. Later on, there's a version of this enemy that chases you while it still vomits at you. And these little guys right here, they don't attack you unless they can see you. And they usually will turn into something that just kind of spurts something out of its neck. And here's one of another wonderful feature of this: mini bosses. You'll fight. They're all named after the 7 deadly sins. And if you didn't know, the Binding of Isaac is a reference to something in the Bible. I don't know what, since I'm not a Christian or Catholic or whatever. I don't read the Bible. I'm not religious. I don't remember the name of this. You saw it when it was popping up at the beginning. I didn't notice because I don't pay attention that often. But this guy is a fairly simple boss. He just splits into smaller versions of himself. The only problem with this guy is that he takes a long time to kill because you've got to deal with all these floating heads. You have to kill I think it's 8 total, right? That's what it seems like. Sometimes if you get good luck on it, it'll take a lot less time, but so this is usually the longest mini boss. It takes the longest amount of time to kill, I should say. So If you get bored with this, just skip forward a few seconds and it'll be okay. Ooh. One of the things I've noticed is I'm not very good at twin-stick shooters, but I do get incredibly lucky sometimes with dodging bullets and the like, especially in this game. And the other one that I know I've had a lot of luck in is Smash TV for the Super Nintendo, which this is a lot like, except, you know, it's... Ooh! I got a much better item. Now this is another... yes, now this game is also full of memes. Internet memes, and for example, the Shoop de Whoop, which is a very good sub-weapon compared with Bob's Rotten Head, whatever it's called. I don't even remember anymore. Whoa. So basically what that one will do, and you'll see that when I use it in the boss room, because I'm not planning to use it because I'm going to save it until later. Yeah. Oh, great. There's a slot machine. What it does is, well, it's pretty obvious. The money that you pick up, you can use it, and it'll give you, sometimes, it'll give you a random item drop. Sometimes it'll give you nothing. So it's a slot machine, basically. It's pretty simple. I got a half a heart, which was nice, but I didn't really need it. Although I would have liked to have some more health at this point. Now those guys are kind of annoying, but not very difficult to fight, obviously. And I know I've found the boss room, but I'm not going in it yet because I have other things to do, like find the power-up room. And these guys are incredibly annoying because they fire off 4 bullets, one in each of the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. And they're very annoying. And actually, of course, as I should have noted, starting with Basement 2, you have to have a key to get into every power-up room. The Rosary is not a very good item. It just gives you 3 soul hearts, and soul hearts are basically they're like regular hearts, but they don't replenish. If you get hit, you just lose them, and they don't return. They're not replenished. So I'm going to... Oh, good, I have bombs. I didn't even realize I had bombs. That's a good thing. One of the things that's really tough about this game is the randomness, because sometimes you'll find yourself... Oh, okay, that's not it. I'm trying to find the secret room, so it's either in one of 2 places. Most of the time, it's going to be where there are the most rooms surrounding it, and it's not in that one either. Weird. Alright. Ah! What the hell? It's a horrible... Shoot. I don't know what I was saying before, but the point is... Oh yeah, the randomness of this game. There are times where you will find yourself with, like, 15 bombs and no keys, and you've already completed a level, and you're trying to get into the power-up room, but you can't because there are no damn keys. Oh, there's another thing that... Another random drop is pills, which give you different weird effects depending on what they are, and there's no way to determine what they do until you use them. And also there are treasure chests. There are the gray ones, which are just usually hold basic items, like in this case pills, and then there are gold ones, which give you sometimes better items. So I'm going to try out this pill, the red and orange one, see what it does, and it gives you nothing. Cool. It gives you the cosmetic effect of eating random pills that you found on the ground. So I'm going to go through this one last room, see if there's any reason that it would... Oh! And this is one of the most annoying enemies in the game, these jumpers. But what's worse is when there's a fire in the middle of the room, and then they get caught on fire, and they take twice as much... They're twice as strong, they're twice as fast, and they take twice as much damage to kill. So they're one of the most annoying enemies in the game, by far. Along with most of those enemies that shoot at you, which is just as annoying. So this... okay, good. I didn't need the soul heart. Okay, so at this point I've only got 3 bombs. I'm going to try bombing a couple... Oh, there's one other spot that could contain the secret room. That would likely contain the secret room. No, it's not a guarantee. Secret rooms are obviously random, just like the rest of this game. Right... Here. Yes. Let's see if I can line it up right. Try this out. See if it works. There it is. And, oh! Now this is one of my favorite sub-weapons. It really sucks. There's going to be a lot of sub-weapons. I'm not getting any, stat boosting items. So My Little Unicorn is a reference to the game Robot Unicorn Attack. Ah, and another reference to another one of Edmund McMillan's games. If you've played the Flash game Time Fuck, it's on most Flash sites. Okay, so here's My Little Unicorn. It's a pretty good item. It basically just causes a ton of damage to any enemies that you run into. And so you didn't really get to see what little Steven does when you fight him, unfortunately. But you get to see the power up, which little Steven is one of several several pickups that will basically like an option from the game Gradius. It shoots extra shots for you, and little Steven is unique in that his shots arc towards enemies, which is really helpful. And as you can see down here, there's a special room, which is the Devil's Room, which basically what the Devil will do is he will sell you really good items at the cost of your hearts. So if I want to get one of these, I will lose a heart permanently, and I'm going to do this. I'm not going to pick up the pact, even though it's pretty good. I'm going to because I'll have one heart left over, and that'll suck. So I'm going to take Brother Bobby. So now I have 2 options, which is nice, but not great. And I'm going to go ahead and use the pill now, and I lose tears. Well, I guess I probably lowered. I'm going to see. It lowers the range. It doesn't look like it did, but it so I have 2 hearts, 2 options, and he's locked in the treasure chest again for his nightmare. And now we're in the 3rd level, the caves. And enemies are going to be very different in here, as you notice from these, which you've never seen before. These are enemies that are vaguely similar to like the dry bones from the Super Mario Brothers games, in that, or the red skeletons in Castlevania, in that you knock them down and then they regenerate. So you have to kill them while they're regenerating. And they're kind of a pain, especially when you've got 4 or 5 of them in one room. And these are, if you can't tell by the sound, very, very large flies. And these ones explode. There's another version of them that they just kind of... They don't explode like that. They kind of pop and turn into 8... they shoot off in 8 different directions. So that was a dead end. You'll find yourself running into a lot of dead ends in this game, I'm sure, and that's just yeah, that's interesting. Empty room. Doesn't seem okay. Now these are kind of, you remember those horks from earlier? These are like those, but their mouths are shut. But when you kill them, they fire off like that in the cardinal directions. And of course, since they're chasing at you a lot, you didn't get to see the mulligans in the first round, but these are, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead, you remember the enemies that kind of, the giant horrible enemies that cough out a ton of other enemies, you know, littler enemies. They're like these. And you get to see another feature of this game, the Gauntlet, which basically you get a chest, or sometimes you get a golden chest, and rarely you'll get a really nice item. But then you have to fight 3 waves of enemies. And I wasn't paying attention when I got hit there. And these are, I think they're called spitters, probably, the sense that they are. And more of these, I think they're called hives, I forget, I don't know, I haven't paid that much attention to them. But, you have to go through 3 waves of enemies like this. And, hopefully you don't take too much damage, considering what I picked up was just a couple of pennies and a bomb, which is not a great drop. Ugh, I hate those guys. And these are some of the most annoying enemies in the game because they're kind of turtling a lot. You know, you have to wait for them to pop up every time, and sometimes it takes a long time to do that. Oh, you get to see a red one, which shoot out 5 instead of 3, but you can damage them all the time. And I got another chest as a reward, and a couple more pennies. That's not a great drop, but you know, you learn to deal with it. And the fact that I've got two options with me is not bad. More of these guys, and I'm going to get hit a lot. Alright, I'm going to have to use my power-up because I would have gotten killed otherwise. Now I have to... And I'm right in front of the boss room, so hopefully I get enough, or I find enough other rooms that will allow me to recharge the sub-weapons, which is one thing that's different between this and other games with sub-weapons, is that you have to recharge them by going through rooms with more enemies and making sure that you kill as many of them as possible. Like this one. This will recharge the items. Every item also has a different recharge rate. Some of them will be fully recharged after like 2 rooms of killing enemies. Ones like my unicorn, unfortunately, will take 6. So I don't think there are 6 rooms left. Here are the moving horks. They also take way more damage, or way more hits to kill, than the ones that were stationary in the earlier parts of the game. Luckily, I have 2 options, and one of them has homing shots, so it's not too bad. And at least I found the... great, a bomb out in the middle of nowhere. I can't reach that ever. And, this is one of my favorite items, the spoon bender. This gives you homing shots, much like Little Steven, which is very helpful sometimes. Okay, and there's no real reason for destroying the fires except for the fact that sometimes they drop items, like in this case, thankfully it dropped a soul heart, which is really helpful. And more spitters and crawlers. There's also a third variant of these creatures, which are called chasers, and as the name suggests, they chase you. And they're very, very annoying because they're very fast and they take a ton of damage to kill. Like 8 hits. And I got some pills! The ones that destroy your tears. That's really, really unhelpful. But now I can show you one other feature. The shop. Oh, the shears. That would be a good thing to have. The shears give you 2 different power-ups simultaneously, and they're really useful. And the last, another item we got are tarot cards. And I got a really good one. Tarot cards are like pills, but they also have like single-use effects. Basically, you can only use them once, but they have usually very good effects for the most part. And the devil is one of the better ones because it gives you a big boost to your damage output, which is very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and head into the boss battle. I don't know who I'm fighting this time. Oh, Gertie. Gertie is a stationary boss, but he spawns a lot of... he spawns enemies, and he also shoots at you like that. And he's pretty annoying. Oh, why have I not activated the tarot card yet? I don't know why. That's kind of silly of me. But I have 3 options, and he's a pretty easy boss to exploit. His AI, you just have to kind of do that and just kind of wander around a bit. Of course, I still get hit because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. But yeah, he's a fairly simple boss once you get the pattern down, or once you see what he's going to do. Like when he disappears from the top like that, you know he's going to shoot at you. Oh, and that was good. I got food, so now I'm back up to the health I was at before. Oh yeah, look at see what the devil tarot card did you. But once you leave a room, that's another thing with tarot cards and pills. Once you leave a room, the effect just disappears. And then you see Isaac getting tortured by other kids, getting farted at or something. Oh, I forgot to go to the secret room for that. Oh well, whatever. So, more spitters, and I've got 2 homing shots at this point, which is really nice. Okay, keep going. Oh, crap, 4 of these things. And as you'll notice, since this game was made using Flash... whoa! I should have paid more attention to what I was doing. This game does lag sometimes, and I've got it at low quality for recording purposes, but it still lags a lot when you've got a lot of bullets on screen or something like that. Okay, I've got 1 key left, and I don't know what to do. I'm going to keep it for now. This game does sometimes boil down to resource management. More of these guys. And one of them's greenish. And as you'll notice, there's a ton of lag going right now. But that's just what happens sometimes. Ooh. When you hear that noise, you get a nickel instead of a penny. And oh wow, I got 2 nickels. Okay, at this point I'm practically dead, so it means that this playthrough is probably going to end soon. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the shop, see if there's anything really good. Okay, he's got a soul heart, which I'm going to pick up. And the maps are pretty neat, because they'll show you the layout. Oh, the treasure map shows you the layout of the entire place. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you what's going to be where. There's another item, the compass, which, if you've ever played The Legend of Zelda, you'll know that the map will show you everything that's around, and the compass will show you where certain items are. Nope, okay, there's nothing there. I'm probably going to die in this room, or not because I got the soul heart, but still there's a good chance I'm not going to survive this basement, or sorry, the caves too. So I'm gonna pop that because I get a key with that, and some more money. Not that it matters because I bought everything in the store. Okay. I don't know how. I don't actually know how long it would take for a. Whoa! Okay, that was really dangerous. I don't think I've ever spawned directly next to an enemy like that before. Like I said, whoa! Right. Like I said, this game's really random and really, and it can be difficult if you don't get good item drops. Okay, I'm not going to pick up that because I don't know what it does. Or did I already pick up one of these? I'll find out. Because you never know what the pills do, and it's randomized every time. Oh, good, I got a fly. Not that that helps. Flies will deflect. Here are chasers. They're incredibly annoying, and they take a lot of damage, like a lot of hits. But the fly will deflect shots from enemies, but only if they're directly in the path of them. If they're just kind of rotating around and they don't block it, then they don't block it, and you're screwed. Not a great item, but another mini boss. This guy is, if you've ever played any Bomberman games, oh crap! Yeah, this is basically like a Bomberman type character, and he just that was great how he boxed himself into a corner with his own bomb and blew himself up like that. One of the nice things about bombs like this is that you can shoot them, you can kind of deflect them back by either shooting them or running into them. You can do that with your own bombs too. Okay, come on. Got 3 freaking options. Why isn't this guy dying? Ugh, like that. Got him, and I got a nice little. Is that the? Oh, you also saw a troll bomb right there, which. Okay, so the Mr. Boom's basically it drops a giant bomb, which does a lot more damage and to a lot larger area, but it's not a great item compared to my little unicorn. It's not. I just noticed that the. Oh, hey, I should use this now. I just noticed that the map showed me the secret room, which I'm going to go into right now. Yes, good. And this is one of the best items in the game by far. One of the best items. 1-up. So now, when I die, not if I die, but when I die, I get another chance at full health. It drops me back in the last room before I got killed, which might be this one. Considering the enemies involved. Okay, maybe not. I thought it was going to go worse than this, but apparently it didn't. Good. It drops a penny in the middle of the room, which I can't access, but I don't care because more chasers. Alright. I've survived for a surprisingly long amount of time, considering how everything's gone so far, and the fact that I've gotten almost no stat bonuses in treasure rooms or anything of that nature. Alright, go here. A mini mush, which, as you'll notice in the bottom left, will increase my foot speed and my tier range. It also makes me smaller, but I don't actually think that affects my hitbox, which is okay, because more speed is helpful, but not really helpful, depending on how much speed you get, because sometimes you'll just end up running into enemies anyway, on accident. And there have been a lot of chasers in this run, and I don't like this. Ooh, excuse me. On the plus side, thanks to these gaps, I can weasel my way around. Okay, now I have 2 choices as to where to go to find the boss. I'll try here. It's as I said. Oh crap! Now you know those enemies that I had before, that I fought before. These guys are faster, and they run away from you when they're in mush. Oh, they also do twice as much damage. But now I know not to go there. Unfortunately, I lost. Oh, I didn't have any soul hearts left anyway, so it didn't matter. Oh, now I can get another fly, which is okay. You can have, I think, up to 3 flies at a time. I've never gotten 3. Now I got the Death Tarot card, which is basically does damage. And now, this is one of the 4 horsemen that only show up after you've beaten the game for the first time. This guy's a pain in the butt. Oh, shoot. I didn't actually mean to activate either of those, but it's okay. You have to watch out for this guy because not only does he shoot giant poisonous explosives, but his trail creates poisonous residue, or whatever you want to call it. And every horseman which you unlock after beating the game for the first time, every time you beat one, you get a cube of meat. Which the first one really doesn't do much. The second one creates another option, and then ones after that will get you Now this is... Oh. Okay. I'm really tempted to take this because the upside down cross is the... I'm taking it anyway because the Lord of the Pit is another one of the best items. It ups your damage. It also gives you the ability of the power of flight, which allows you to fly over all obstacles, including rocks and pits, which is... It's really, really powerful. Now we see Isaac falling and breaking. And now we're in the 5th level, which is the depths, which is... okay, now the fact that I have 1 heart and no 1-up basically means I'm probably going to die in this room. Especially considering there are... Oh, this sucks. This is horrible. Well, it looks bad, I know, but I guess it's not too bad considering that I'm not dead yet. But still, having to fight this many of these... okay, that was lucky, admittedly. And since the secret room is right here, I'm going to bomb it open. But if you ever get the chance to take the... useless, gets a slot machine. But if you ever get a chance to take the Lord of the Pit power, the upside down black cross, absolutely take it. It's worth the 2-heart loss, investment, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, Depths 1, every room, every dungeon, I should say. These are probably another one of the most annoying regular enemies in the game. Knights. These can only be damaged from the back. So you've got to... Thankfully, because of Lord of the Pit, I can avoid the rocks that are down here, which is nice. But at half a heart, I'm probably not going to survive much longer, I'm imagining. Also, with Lord of the Pit, just because you can fly over the rocks doesn't mean your shots fly over the rocks. So you still have to line up. Whoa! That would have been the end right there. That would have been bad. Oh, but it dropped 2 soul hearts, which is going to be really helpful. And some of these guys. Oh, and the pits, or the depths also include, or introduce these guys, which are unkillable, and they're only active until you kill all the enemies in the room, but still, I mean, if you're not careful, you can die to these guys. Oh, like that. Come on. That last fly. There we go. Okay, now they're deactivated, which is nice. And I'm going to go into the deck of cards is a decent power-up. It's not great. Once you use it, it gives you a random tarot card. I'm going to use it and dump it because... No. Pick up the... Yeah, there we go. Because I got the death card, which is really useful. I don't know if I'm going the right way. That's okay, because pick up the bomb, and there's nothing in here, which is really helpful. This is a... oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, that's not good. This is a version of another one of the... it's a mini-boss version of one of the bosses that you fight in the caves. The second... Whoa! It's called Fistula. And basically it's like that other... it's like that mini-boss I fought earlier, only it spawns chasers. And I hate those guys so much. I'm gonna get hurt a lot. I'm probably gonna die in this room. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna die. Very, very soon. I got that guy. Gotta be really careful when you're at half a heart. I don't think I'm going the right way anyway, so even if I do survive... Oh, great. On the plus side, the one nice thing about one of the very nice things about Lord of the Pit is that you can fly over... when you fight enemies like knights, you can't go over pits, but you can just kind of hide over the pits and not have to worry about getting hurt ever. Which is nice, but you also got to be careful not to accidentally fly out. Oh, how very lucky. I managed to get to the boss room with half a heart. I'm not going to survive this. Oh, especially because it's Loki. Alright, let's Death Tarot immediately! And then let's use this, see if I can... Whoa. I'm not going to survive this, I'm quite certain. Okay, maybe I will. I don't know. Oh, geez, you can spawn those? I've only fought Loki... Oh, I've only fought Loki once, so yeah, it's understandable that I don't really know his patterns very well. Whoa! Oh, shoot. Well, So ends the first playthrough of The Binding of Isaac. Hopefully the next one will go better. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Really beaten the game fully yet. So this is basically going to be... I'm going to be showing several attempts throughout the next few days or weeks or however long it takes me to beat the game. And I'm just going to show the best or most entertaining playthrough, not every playthrough, because sometimes playthroughs end really quickly because I get shitty drops. So, basically the game, if you want to categorize it, it's kind of a hybrid of a twin-stick shooter and a roguelike. And it has a lot of influences from The Legend of Zelda. And at this point I have 3 characters unlocked. You'll see the mouse here. You've got Isaac, who's the default character, who is the character I'm going to be playing with most because he's the one I'm used to playing with most. There's also Magdalene, who you unlock after you have 7 total hearts, which you get by earning health up items. And then you've got Cain, who you unlock by getting a lot of money. It's like 55 coins in...
"Yes, Lord," she replied, grabbing a butcher's knife from the kitchen. Isaac, watching through a crack in his door, trembled in fear. Scrambling around his room to find a hiding place, he noticed a trapdoor to the basement hidden under his rug. Without hesitation, he flung open the hatch, just as his mother burst through his door and threw himself down into the unknown depths below.
So that's the intro to The Binding of Isaac. I just figured that I would let you guys see that. And just in case you are interested, I have played this game for roughly 25 hours already since I bought it. And this is not the screen that you'll see at the beginning if you just start from a fresh save, or if you just start the game fresh. Basically, I just want to kind of play through the game until I actually beat it, because I haven't...
"Lord," Isaac's mother replied, rushing into Isaac's room, removing all that was evil from his life. Again the voice called to her. "Isaac's soul is still corrupt. He needs to be cut off from all that is evil in this world and confess his sins." "I will follow your instructions, Lord. I have faith in thee," Isaac's mother replied, as she locked Isaac in his room, away from the evils of the world. One last time, Isaac's mom heard the voice of God calling to her. "You've done as I've asked, but I still question your devotion to me. To prove your faith, I will ask one more thing of you." "Yes, Lord, anything," Isaac's mother begged. "To prove your love and devotion, I require a sacrifice. Your son Isaac will be this sacrifice. Go into his room and end his life as an offering to me to prove you love me above all else."
You have to have 55 coins total in your inventory. And then you've got Judas, who I have not unlocked yet, but I will once I actually beat the game. So we're going to start with Isaac, and here we go. Attempt number 1. And the only reason I'm going to keep this one and actually broadcast it is because I wanted to give you all that information about what I'm going to be doing with the game. So, the first room in the game will tell you exactly how to move and attack. I'm using a PS2 controller connected through USB the converter thing, which I bought at 4 Triangles, which is a really good website for stuff like that. And it's fairly simple graphics. It's made by the same people that made Super Meat Boy, among other things. And so basically the game is going to be like and just as I'm starting, I'm getting my ass kicked at the very beginning, because these are 2 of the most annoying enemies in the game, because they shoot at you, and those are really, really irritating. So basically the game is it's fairly simple in that it's a twin-stick shooter and it's a roguelike. Hey everyone, welcome to the next in my series of Let's Plays. I'm doing this because I'm still kind of waiting to get the group back together for the next Let's All Play, so I'm going to do The Binding of Isaac.
Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Isaac kept to himself, drawing pictures and playing with his toys as his mom watched Christian broadcasts on the television. Life was simple, and they were both happy. That was until the day Isaac's mom heard a voice from above. "Your son has become corrupted by sin. He needs to be saved." "I will do my best to save him, my lord."